for us to receive those. And I think that when we realize that when we let go of hurt and pain, forgiveness, we see a lot of that on Facebook of when you forgive and let go, you become free. As long as you're holding on to frustration or pain or anger or resentment or something, you're a prisoner. So when we can learn to accept, not take it personally, because those things really are not personal. That has to do with the other person and not me. And if I take on those things that the other person says, does, whatever, then I'm the one that is shutting down my heart center. And it's taken me a while to figure out exactly what my heart center means. So whenever I'm doing something, when I'm listening to someone or whatever, I try to be super open to whatever it is, but then and it doesn't always work, but then to make sure that I don't take those things in as something that belongs to me. I try to let it stay where it belongs, which is with the other person, and then love them through whatever it is our differences are, if that's the case. If it's someone like you who's on a very loving wavelength, the same place where I like to live and where I try to be, I get to experience an incredible sensation or an overpouring. I'm not sure what that word is, because you feel me. Sometimes I feel other people, and so it's an outpouring. Right now, it's reciprocal. So sometimes we receive love from someone, and sometimes we give love to someone. So I think it's really important.
I've been thinking and actually writing a lot this week about giving and receiving. And for me, I've been meditating on receiving Father, Mother, God's love, and I breathe it in. And I literally see Father, Mother, God as this infinite light and rays, almost like the rays going up are antennas or vibrations of the purest, almost like laser-like light. And I receive, as I breathe in, I'm just receiving an equal balance of Father, Mother love, because it's good to have that omega, alpha, alpha, omega balance. And I put it almost like a chalice, receiving it right into my heart. As I breathe it in, it comes into this chalice. And I put that chalice in my heart. So I breathe in there, and then I breathe out love, and I let it go from my heart spiraling out, either to the universe, to a person. But then, of course, that's breathing in and sending out. But you also can, and what I've been practicing is this, breathing in the love from the heart, from another person, and literally breathing in, letting that spiral come back into the heart as love, and then sending it back out to the universe. It's because it is an interesting thing, the giving and receiving. And some people give, and some people take. And some people are receivers and some are givers. But finding that balance is such an interesting thing. Have you found that some people you deal with are always saying, and sometimes it usually seems to me it's women who are the givers. Have you found this to be true?
Absolutely. I think that's one of our biggest challenges. I think as women, it's our challenge to receive. And, I think there are people in general who have a really hard time giving. When we give, then we have to be vulnerable. When we receive, we have to be very vulnerable. That means we're going to have to trust someone to not hurt us. And we're no longer, this isn't going to come out right, we're no longer in control, and it's not about control. It's about we're no longer the giver of whatever it is. Now we have to be still and be quiet to receive. So, yes, I absolutely understand. And I agree wholeheartedly it is about balance. Because when we don't have the balance, we're sideways.
That it's interesting as you were speaking, I also realized that if you really are going to be open and vulnerable, I know many people who have gone and turned to God because of a painful situation or a loss or for seeking answers can be very vulnerable. But I think you find that when you turn to God and you make that interconnection with your soul or the source, that you feel totally safe and protected. And it took me, because I had a lot of challenges that were, when I was young, besides the loss of my father, there were other challenges that I wasn't even aware of, and it took me a lifetime of getting strong and feeling protected and confident in God that I was able, with actually the grace of Mary for me, to feel that I had realized I'd gone through abuse and rape, a lot of violence, and I was strong and finally strong enough to open up and be vulnerable. But that, for I find a lot of people turn to God because they feel safe in God, or they feel safe in the angels, or they're very, very sensitive and they need that protection. But then it comes back to putting it into practice in your relationships and in your daily world, every day, trying to be that and live that and become that. And I find that there is, and it sounds like you found it, that grace that comes when you turn within and the strength to then give back, because you're giving back with your books and your counseling and your radio work.
Well, actually, it is that I love all those things. And one of my toughest lessons with those things is that you go ahead and you continue in that path. And sometimes it's a little bit hard to do. But like I said, it is one of my intentional actions is to understand that those things are separate and outside of me. And it is, I do love that. I do love being able to share love, because without love, we don't have anything. This world does not exist without love. When there is no love, we can look and see all the darkness that goes on. So it is really super important for me. And no, I don't have it all figured out, because I still mess it up a lot. I'm at least conscious of it, and I try to take steps all the time to ensure that I'm growing, continuing to grow. And it gets easier. It becomes more like a habit. And I know that you do that too. You do those very same things because you talk about being still and being quiet to find that place in that space, and you receive the most beautiful messages. So I know that it's super important, and I know that people who have a divine connection and who are connected to their own beingness, that those people can more easily love if they're willing to let go. So I do love that part about what I do, and I do love that part of other people, and I do love to see when they go, hey, wow, I can't believe that's really pretty awesome. Look at this growth and this change. And so it's very wonderful.
Well, it's interesting, because I think one of the greatest blocks to love is fear, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. But when you address this important subject of vulnerability, basically what you're talking about, it sounds like to me, is letting go of fear.
Yes, we can't have fear, because love is the opposite of fear. And if we have fear, then we don't have love. We can't love fully and wholly. We may love bits and pieces and parts, but that's different to love bits and pieces and parts than it is to let go and be the essence of love. People say to me all the time, you are such a loving person, that I hope that that's what they see in me. I hope that they see love in me, because that is what it is that I aspire to do daily. But what I really love is when they see that love, that is also who they are. What we look for and find and see in other souls is what we be in our daily experience. So I love when they do that, because that means that they are there, or they're looking at or growing forward, or whatever it is that they're doing. And so I think that when we are willing to let go, even though what do they say? Feel the fear and do it anyway. Something, see the fear or feel the fear and do it anyway. That's true. It's what we have to do in our daily experience.
And it's so simple to say, and sometimes so difficult to do. It's really a lifetime path. I think that's maybe what I love about it, about love, is that it's so amazingly complete. And in all levels. In your connection to God and experiencing all the love without fear, in your connection to people, of trying to love them without the blocks and without resentment, without the ego. It is such an encompassing path, and love is our greatest teacher. I mean, truly, love is our greatest teacher. But it's funny, a lot of people literally get to a point in their life where they've gone through so much they just can't feel it. And I see this in all kinds of people, but also a lot in men who have gotten older. Sometimes they feel shut down. So what do you suggest to people who finally just really literally have gotten to the point that they can't feel that love?
One of the things that I think is an incredible practice, and I know you do this, Cindy, I know you do, The best thing that I think that we can do as beings that are here on this planet is to try one more time. Take baby steps. If we try to eat the whole cow, we're going to choke. If we take little tiny bites and we go just little bits at a time, then we can experience life from a different place. Sometimes we do things that we think are going to substitute love, that love is lust, that love is all these things. Love really is not that. Love is the complete, whole, and true acceptance of the other soul, male, female, plant, animal, rock, whatever it is. It is the essence of the other person that we acknowledge, accept, and receive for completely who they are. It is not tolerating abusive behavior. That is not love. Love would be honoring and respecting of the soul and keeping that separate. But to those people who are struggling with what love is, take little tiny baby steps. Go somewhere where you know it's safe and start little tiny steps at a time. Connect with people who have loving souls and feel that energy and that difference of that shift of that being that says, I love you for who you are and I appreciate the essence of what you be. And I feel blessed and grateful to have you a part of what it is that I do. And so that's what I would recommend for anybody, especially men. Look from the heart center, which is hard. It's hard for anybody. But look from that heart space and connect with someone who you know is a loving being, and then let them love you, which is really hard, and then be what it is that you want to see. Be what you wish to see.
I do a little exercise, and we only have 3 minutes left, but I say I am loved, I am loving, and I am lovable. And the one that I don't really believe when I say it the most is the thing I work on and need to accept the most.
Well, I say I am loved, I am loved, and I am loving. It's funny that you say that, because I say that to myself.
And it is saying it and reminding ourselves and then always going back to it. And again, in meditation in the morning, connecting with the source of love, which really can do the healing, and it can open up our heart, and it can change our lives. I mean, it's changed your life, it's changed my life. And people can go to the universityofsedona.com if they want to find out more about metaphysical teachings. And again, your Facebook site, Lisa?
Is Lisa Jones, and I'm in Roatan, Honduras. But maybe what I'll do, Cindy, is send you something, and they can find it on your page too.
Great, and I'm going to get your book and read your book. And your radio show airs when?
I was actually doing a show on Monday nights, but I have stopped doing that for a little bit. So I haven't done my show for, I think, 1 week or two. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks. Usually it's Monday night. So
I'll tell you what, Lisa, we got to get you on a week. We've got to get you on a weekly show. We'll get you on a weekly show here because you have such great ways to connect with people, and you're such an amazing person in what you do.
Oh, well, thank you. I would love to connect with you, Cindy. I really would. I think it would be awesome, and I think we could touch a lot of different people in very loving ways, and I would love to do that.
Well, it is all about love, and your 2 books, the next one is going to come out in about, 6 months? A year?
Probably between 6 months and a year, yes. I've got quite a bit of it written, but I think I am going to go ahead and start working on that again because I really do love that part.
Well, get it out, the old goal, get it out by Christmas.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
It's a good goal. It'll happen. I visualize it. I see myself reading it. But it's just wonderful. What a wonderful way to start connecting with you here on the distances between Rotorua in Honduras and me here on Maui. It's just a blessing, and I'm sending you all my love and my light and appreciation to you for what you're doing and the bright, loving spirit that you are, Lisa Jones.
You are very, very sweet, and you just don't know how much I love and appreciate you. I think of you often, and I send you a lot of love all the time. I don't ever tell you that, but I do. And I just appreciate you, and I thank you Thank you so much for having me on your show. I do appreciate the opportunity, and I appreciate